Okay, guys, welcome back to another Entertainer Spotlight and welcome back to NSK TV. Today, I have the pleasure of having the one and only Sean. Sean, thank you so much for coming on and being
No
interviewed.
worries.
I really appreciate it.
No, I'm very, very much looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
No problem, mate. You've been with us for well over a year now. You must be 2 years, coming up on 2 years. It must be, right?
It was end of February, so it's at 1.5 years.
1.5 It feels like forever. It feels like
Yeah.
forever. And obviously, I mean, you are an amazing entertainer.
Thank you.
No, you really are. You know, we look at the feedback that you get, and you're one of those people that goes above and beyond. The clients that talk about you when they fill in the feedback forms, they don't just talk about how great an entertainer you are, but how nice you are and how accommodating you are and how you go above and beyond to help people. So
yeah, thank you very much for that. That's a very nice compliment. I try.
It's true. It's true. You're amazing. But I mean, obviously, and we'll talk about non-stop kids and stuff like that, but you do an awful lot more than just working for non-stop kids as a kids entertainer. You do an awful lot from a performing point of view. And I think what I wanted to do on this interview is basically just find out about you, when you got interested in performing, what you've done, how you got into it, what you're doing now, absolutely everything. Would that be okay?
Yes, I'll tell you.
Awesome.
Should I tell you?
Start from the beginning.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So, I believe I've wanted to definitely be a comedian since I was young. I remember saying that at school. Always like try and make people laugh and everything. I've always loved performing and everything. It started, so basically right now, I do magic and comedy. That's what I'm doing right now. However, before at school, it started doing comedy, but also doing dancing. I used to do Michael Jackson dancing. Yeah. I have an old YouTube channel called 014 Michael Jackson that has 4 or 5 of his songs I'm dancing to. So I did that. That's what I did. And then that took until I think that was during school. Then after school went to university and then started doing, and since then at school I was writing comedy. I was writing jokes.
Okay.
And then at university, that was when the first year of university, that was when I first performed. That's when I first started performing. And then I did that all through till now. So that must have been 2015. So 5 years been doing stand-up. And then magic came September 2018. Basically, that was when I first did magic consistently. I was doing it every now and then. But then I was in America doing Camp America, which I know you have done as well.
I did that 2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And I love that. And I performed magic there for the kids and everything. And then when I came back after the time there, which was in September 2018, then I did magic. And I've been doing that ever since. So now I've been doing magic and comedy. So, yeah.
So let's talk about some of that. So a lot of people that I know, a lot of performers, like they want to get into stand-up, but it's so scary. I know a lot of magicians that do comedy magic, and then they try to get into stand-up comedy, and they find it really stressful because I think a magician, they hide behind the prop when they're on stage and they're performing on stage. You know, yes, they're trying to be funny, but they've always got the magic to fall back on. But when you're a stand-up comedian, it's very raw, isn't it? It's just you and a microphone. So how you know, what do you find the difference between stand-up and doing magic stand-up? And, you know, how did you have nerves when you started? Did you conquer it? You know, that sort of thing.
Good question. Yes, I did when I started. I remember it was in Bournemouth at university, and I went to Mad Cucumber, which was this open mic vegan restaurant. And I was very nervous before doing my first thing. And after that, the first few, of course, nervous. However, with magic, with comedy, like the worst things that can happen with comedy, the worst thing that happen is nobody laughs. With magic, the worst thing that can happen is the trick doesn't work. And when you experience that, then it's not a bad thing. So then once you've done that, then doing stand-up, performing magic is a lot easier, more fun, more relaxed, more enjoyable. So I think that's good just to.
And what do you prefer doing? Do you prefer doing comedy magic, or do you prefer doing straight up stand-up?
Okay, good question. So with my magic and comedy, my magic, I like magic being not that comedy, like, because I like doing a lot of mind reading mentalism type magic.
Yeah,
that works better without comedy. I like magic being more serious, I guess, and then comedy. So my magic and comedy, they're different.
okay.
And comedy is just on stage getting to say jokes, whatever you want and stuff. They're two completely different. I love them both for different reasons. They're both so different to me.
So you wouldn't want to do one without the other. You like a mix of both.
I like a mix of both.
Okay. And what advice would you give somebody who's wanting to break into stand-up? Because there's a lot of people out there that do. Like, would you suggest going to open mic nights, or how did you get good?
Good question. So I will say how I did it, then I'll say some advice to other people. So how I did it was I went to an open mic with two friends, and before I was around those friends' house, and I used to tell them the jokes, and they were very supportive and everything. So then if they weren't there during the first time, I don't think I would have done it. So I think having some friends, having some support definitely helped. So that's how I first went into it. I was going, the first few times I did it was with a friend. And then after I got comfortable, then I did it by myself. So advice, I would say I think open mic, it depends on who you are. Maybe you're someone who prefers performing to strangers and stuff. Maybe you're someone who would prefer their first time performing to people you know. For me, I preferred strangers, so going to the open mic. And I recommend doing that. And if you can get someone to come with you, that's what worked for me. Everyone's different. So I say go for an open mic and give it a go. Definitely give it a go.
Okay. Just get through those nerves. Were you nervous when you first started?
Yes, 100%.
And what advice can you give for conquering nerves?
Good question. Advice I'd give for conquering nerves. I think nerves will probably always be there. So I think it's more conquering, just keeping the nerves, but then just going for it anyway. Because the nerves, I think they will always be there, especially when you've done something new. I think the nerves will always be there. So I think it's more conquering more than that, So
yeah,
just go for it, and then whatever happens.
Okay, I like
having
that.
some support as well, I think.
And as well as obviously working on stage, I've seen obviously videos. You do an awful lot of close-up magic.
Yeah.
And how do you find that different to performing on stage? Do you
Good
prefer
question.
it? Because I find that some magicians or some entertainers that do close-up and stage, I think they fall into two camps. Some people prefer doing close-up magic because they like that intimacy and being able to do the more intricate magic, while some people prefer performing on stage because they get the buzz of the big audience.
Yes, there is a huge. I get the buzz of a huge audience. I get a big buzz from the huge audience, which I love. And then when you go back to performing close-up, it's totally different. So the two distinct categories, stage and close-up, it is noticeably different. I love the intimacy of close-up magic. Gathering a nice little group, sometimes a group around you, sometimes one-on-one. Every one-on-one so special. I love also with magic, I love giving stuff out as souvenirs. I love stuff like that, creating that type of relationship and connection with people, especially when you're performing. I love that, which I think is good with close-up. And with close-up, you when you're going around performing to people, you could sometimes do like the same trick to people, kind of. So then you can give more souvenirs. I like doing that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what is your favorite close-up trick? You said you're into mentalism, so I imagine it's a mentalism trick. What's your favorite sort of magic tricks?
I love tricks which are sort of, you don't really need much on you. There's so many different types of tricks. So like, I love mentalism. I love telling people personal information about themselves. For example, their star sign, maybe passcodes, pin codes, stuff like that. I love doing that type of stuff. And then also, I love card tricks are great. Tricks which involve stuff that people know as everyday stuff. Like there's a lovely little trick with Tic Tacs, and I love using just Tic Tacs as a trick, so stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's really, really awesome. And to contrast that, what's your favourite trick to perform on stage?
This Harry Potter routine.
Oh, so, really?
Yeah. There's I got this Harry Potter book, which is great for magic, and then from that, I've had a lot of fun coming up with a routine around that and routine about Harry Potter, because it's fun. I like Harry Potter.
That's cool. That's awesome. Now, here's a question for you. You said that you, obviously when you're performing when you're performing stand-up, obviously it's all comedy, it's all very funny. When you're doing close-up, a lot of the time it's less so because it's mentalism. Have you ever been in a situation where somebody's seen you at a comedy performance and they look at you as this really funny guy, and then they see you performing magic and and they're expecting you to be really funny and you're not? Has that ever happened? Because my character, when I'm on stage, I don't know if you've ever seen me perform on stage, I am really loud. I'm like very loud, very sarcastic, very quick-witted. And then when I'm performing close-up, that's not the case at all. And I've had that situation. I was just wondering if you have, or if you haven't, how do you deal with it?
I don't think I have. I've had people who've seen me do stand-up and then see me do close-up, so they obviously have seen and noticed the difference. But that's never come into play. I've never felt that or anything, you know. So yeah, but I have had people seen me do both and everything. So
that's great. That's awesome. So I suppose before I ask you the next question, I know that you're very big on YouTube and Facebook. Tell me, I've been waxing lyrical about how amazing you are. Where can people watch you perform? Where can people, give us all your social media links and all the different places that people can find you?
Okay, so on YouTube, my name is Sean Bless. So if you just type in Sean Bless.
And that's Sean S-E-A-N, not S-H-A-W-N.
Yeah, S-E-A-N, yeah. And I've got 5 videos up now. I just uploaded this quarantine sort of magic compilation one. And then also on Instagram, I am Sean Bless. And then also I've got a Facebook page, which is Sean Bless as well. Like my stage.
That's wicked. So lots of different places that people can find you. So what's your plan? What's your 5-year plan from a performing point of view?
Funny you should say. Do you see in the background that A4 sheet?
Yes, I do.
That is my goals list. Let me read it for you. Let me read it for you.
Please. Yeah.
So up front, maybe you can see. Can you see that?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, I can see that.
Can you read it? Or is it upside down?
Close-up magic set, parlor magic set. You're a bit over to the right. You need to move it to the left a bit. The other way.
Let me read it. So, close-up magic set, parlor magic set, stage magic set, joke book, BGT act, YouTube videos, magic special. This is for the end of the year.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, that brings me to my next question. That's actually really cool. The fact that you've got goals and you obviously have a plan of where you want to be and what you want to do. And I heard the magic word BGT on there. I remember way back in the day, a few years ago, it was a standing joke that the judges hate magic, but that's not the case now. I mean, we've had magicians win Britain's Got Talent. Mark Spellman did really well last year and the year before, and there's always a magician or two that's doing really well. The one thing that I've always found is the magicians that do the best are the ones that come up with something that's very creative, very different. They haven't just done something that everybody does. They've kind of put their own spin on it. Have you got an idea? Are you going to go in with it? Have you got a plan?
Well, I've got a plan. I'm doing magic and comedy. So and the comedy's going to be, going to it's not just going to be magic, not just going to be comedy. It's going to be a mix of both.
Nice.
And also with the routining, I haven't got it exactly yet, but I know it's going to involve a really cool reveal, like a kicker reveal. And there's also going to be some video workings in there as well. It's just a rough idea. I need to work more on that, but yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's wicked. That's very cool. That's very, very cool. Okay. So you've got a lot planned with that, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Dialing back a little bit, because you mentioned this briefly earlier on, but Camp America, how did you enjoy that? I mean, I've been on it. I loved it. Are you planning on going back again and doing Camp America? And tell me how that was as a experience for you.
I loved it. It was my first experience traveling by myself to another country. And I actually loved it. I went to New Jersey, a camp in New Jersey. I was there 2018, then I returned 2019. It was wonderful. You know, don't you? It was really nice working with the kids, working with all the people. Great experience. And also, my camp was really good because it was also 5 days a week. So the weekends you could have off, you could travel, see New York was nearby, you can see all of this type of stuff.
No way! That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think I had one day off in 5 months.
Yeah, they said that my camp was it's a rare to have that, which I liked. That's
amazing.
And then, do I plan on going back? I would like to go back. I'm not going back this year, and probably next year, because I want to because that takes up the summer and everything, and I want to work on other stuff. But I would like to go back and do that again because it's really fun.
It really is. It really is. And how do you find, because obviously, you've been working with Non-Stop Kids for a while, you're an amazing kids entertainer. How do you find the stuff that you do with your comedy performances and your magic performances? Do you find that helps you as a kids entertainer?
Yes, I think it's very important and very good, very helpful to entertain, work with kids and then also adults, because they're so different. Lots of skills learned from both of working an audience, engaging them, keeping them entertained, and it's so different working with kids. They're really fun, really funny.
They really are. They really, really are.
Yeah.
I found if I'm working in a new routine that I want to put in my stage show for like adults or whatever, or family audiences, wherever possible, I try to put it into my kids show first of all. Because,
that's a good idea.
Yeah, because kids are just so unforgiving. They're an amazing audience. If they love you, they will tell you. But if you suck, they will tell you as well.
And you need that, especially as a performer. You need that.
And adults sometimes can be polite. If they see something that they don't like, it can be they can still be nice because they don't like it. But kids haven't got that filter. They'll tell you if it's terrible.
Exactly, and both things are very accurate. Yeah.
The best piece of advice I was ever given to me was by when I was a red coat at Butlins. We're going back about 25 years, and he said, when you do an act and you want to know how it's gone, immediately after finishing the show, go into the public toilets and lock yourself up in one of the toilets, in one of the cubicles. And everybody will come out and they'll go into the toilet and you'll hear what people actually think at that point.
That's true. That's good advice.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
I have. I've done that many times.
Did you hear them speak about you?
Yes, I have. And I heard stuff that I didn't particularly want to hear, but it was useful in hindsight hearing it because it made it better. But yeah, it's the best piece of advice I ever got. When you put a new show together, hide in the public toilets afterwards.
I'm going to try that. I haven't tried that.
Try it. You'll find out exactly what people think about it. No second guessing then. There's no second guessing. Awesome. Well, here's a question for you. What if, and I know you talked about breaking into the industry as a performer. There's a lot of people that are watching this that are entertainers, or they're wanting to be entertainers, or they're hoping to become entertainers, or whatever. What advice would you give to people? Because obviously, although you're young, you've had a lot of experience. We've talked about how you were doing stand-up from being in school, and you've had a lot of experience in so many different genres. Most people just have one. So what advice would you give somebody who wants to break into the wonderful world of entertainment, other than get a job at Non-Stop Kids?
Yeah, that's no, it's beautiful. That's good advice. It's really good. What advice should I give? I would say, let me think. I would say, think about what you want. So, like, take some time to think. Maybe write down exactly what you want, why you want it, and then when you go and try and put yourself out there and everything, focus on like getting better. Like whenever you do it, you're always learning, you're always a student, you're always learning, and when things maybe won't go the way you want it, then you learn. So keep positive, keep putting yourself out there, but focus on you and getting better and everything.
That's very good advice, actually. That's very, very good advice. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm going to go into the quick fire round. You have been such an amazing. I knew you would be. You've been such an amazing guest to have on the Entertainer Spotlight. And I said to the team right from the very beginning, I said I want Sean on there as soon as possible, and I was right. I was absolutely right. But we're going to do a quick fire round now. Now I know you've watched some of the Entertainer Spotlight, so I know you know what this is all about. Yeah. We're going to ask you as many questions as we can in 3 minutes.
Okay.
And you got to answer them as quickly as you can. Still in the lead at the moment is David Burgess from Liverpool. Yeah. I think part of the reason for that is he is a Scouser, and so he can talk like literally a million miles a second. But we're gonna. I'm just getting my timer up in front of me so I can time you. Here we go.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you as many questions as I can. Okay, and you're going to see how many you can answer. Are you ready, Sean?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. And your time starts now. If you could buy any type of food right now, what would you buy?
Scrambled eggs.
Lovely. What colour is your toothbrush?
Dark blue.
If you could be any animal, what would you be and why?
A lion, because they're the kings. They're kings.
Nice. What's the one thing you would put on your bucket list that you haven't done yet?
Like seeing other countries, other places like Australia.
Awesome. Who's your favourite superhero and why?
I would say Thor, because I like this WWE wrestler called Kane, and Thor is Kane's favourite wrestler.
Absolutely. Kane. Who do you admire the most?
Like family.
Lovely. What's your favourite summer activity?
Performing. Always performing.
Love it. If a movie was made of your life, what genre would it be and who would play you?
It would be a comedy. It would be a comedy. Mm-hmm. And being played by me would be Idris Elba.
Okay, I like that.
Or Shah Rukh Khan.
Okay, I like that. If you could go anywhere in the world and wait out the rest of lockdown and you could snap your fingers and you could be there immediately, where would you go?
Scotland.
Nice. Are you a morning or a night person?
If I had to pick, I would say night person.
What's the one thing that annoys you the most?
Good question. Maybe when you're speaking to people via text and they see it but don't reply.
Oh, that is annoying. I agree. Yeah. I've done that occasionally. What's the strangest thing you've ever eaten?
Aubergine.
Okay, that is kind of weird. What is one of your weird quirks?
Weird quirks. Good question. I don't know. Maybe drinking raw eggs. Does that count? I think it's fine.
Yeah. But that's very weird. Yeah. said very weird. If you could trade lives with anyone for one day, who would it be and why?
David Goggins. David Goggins. Do you know him?
No, I don't. Who's that?
He's this Navy SEAL, ex-Navy SEAL who does crazy stuff, basically.
Oh, wow, I'm gonna look him up.
Yeah, no, look him up. He's an interesting man.
Awesome. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Electricity, electricity out of my finger.
Okay. That's good. And who, if you were invisible, where would you go first?
Ooh, I would go to Nigeria.
Okay. That's cool. And describe yourself in 3 words.
Okay. I would describe myself as kind, sweet, and friendly.
Nice. And one last question. What is the thing you're most afraid of?
Most afraid of? I don't know. Maybe certain type of animals, like a shark attack on land.
Well, I think you'll be safe. I have a feeling you're going to be safe with that one, Sean. I haven't read the statistics, but I'm fairly sure that doesn't happen very often. That's awesome. Now, I have got one last thing that I want you to do, but before you do that, yes, I'd like to ask you one more thing, which is, obviously we've talked about your social media, and we've talked about where people can see you online. Now, obviously, it's a bit of a weird situation at the moment because we're locked down. So you're not performing live many places at the moment. But if people wanted to see you, people are watching this after lockdown and people want to check you out live, where's the best place to go? Do you have like dates written down somewhere on your social media, or is there a particular comedy club that you perform at a lot? Or I know you do a lot of street magic, like David Blaine style street magic. Is there a place that you do that an awful lot? Where can people find you and seek you out to watch you perform?
Good question. I would say mainly Leicester Esquire. That's where I like to hang out. That's where I like to do some performing.
Okay.
Around there's lots of comedy clubs around there, and there's a lot of, it's a good place to do, I think, street magic, performing, stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. That's brilliant. That's good stuff. Have you? Another question actually. It's just jumped into my head. Have you ever considered, and would you do, busking?
Yes, I have.
Knowing you and seeing your style, I think you do really well at that.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I have considered that, and I will do that eventually.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried busking?
You know what? I've never done it, and I've always wanted to. And I actually went on about 10 years ago. I went on a course on how to actually be a street performer. I actually learned how to do it. And then when I went to go and do it, and I was like, right, okay. I went in the March, and I was like, right, okay, in the summer, I'm going to do this. I'm going to spend the entire summer doing it. And then I got really busy with other gigs, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got so busy. I had like 5 restaurants come in that I was working at everywhere. I was like, I can't do that and do this, and they're paying me to do this, so it seems a bit silly. So I'd set myself up to do it, and it's probably one of my biggest regrets that I've never actually got around to do it because I was so busy doing something else.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I've looked into it as well. I know in Covent Garden you need a license to do it, and then but in like Leicester Square and stuff you don't.
No.
But that's definitely something I will.
I know a lot of street performers. I know a lot of them. Yeah. And Cosmo is a very good friend of mine who you've probably never heard of, but he's one of the top street performers in the whole of America. And he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. But yeah, I've always wanted to do it. And I know well enough to know that I think you're doing an amazing job. You'd be a really good street performer.
Thank you so much. That's so nice. Thank you.
You would definitely. Okay. So last question. I've asked every single entertainer to do this, and you are no exception. I would like you, if at all possible, please, to give us your best impression. I don't care who it is. I don't mind. However bad it is not going to be as bad as Kieran attempting to do Donald Trump, because that was terrible. And there's no way you're going to be as bad as Kieran doing Donald Trump. So.
Okay. And maybe you can try and guess who this person is.
Okay. I'm terrible at guessing, just so you know. Okay. But I'll try.
Ready? I'm going to try
Yes.
and do the eyes as well. I'm going to try and do the eyes. Okay. You will rest in peace. Can't do the eyes.
Oh my God.
Do you know?
It's Mark Calloway. It's Mark Calloway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. There you go. That was good. That was really good. Great. Because you are a wrestling fan, aren't you?
Can you see the belt right there?
Oh man. Is that the Universal title?
It is the WWE title.
Oh, the WWE title.
Right here.
Oh, look at that. Wow. I've got a friend who's got like every single belt ever made. He's got the
Really?
the rare ones like the Smoking Skull from Austin. He's got the Brahma Bull one from The Rock, right up to the new ones.
They're rare ones.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
He's got all of them.
Love that.
Yeah, he's got all of them. No. So there you go. If there wasn't enough reasons to love Sean, there's another reason he's a fan of wrestling. But you know what? I think that a lot of, I don't know what you think as a performer, I think you can learn a lot about performing by watching wrestling.
That's true. They're pro wrestling, isn't it? Pro wrestling, like entertainment wrestling. Yeah, because they're entertainers. That's what they do. They entertain.
Exactly. And they live and die by getting the crowd on their side. You know, when I first started doing kids entertainment, especially, I used to model a lot of what I was doing on the wrestlers, because it was watching them is almost like a masterclass on how to perform and they have to get people to invest in what they're doing. And that's how you get people to spend money. They invest in what they do. And it's the same as a performer. If a performer can't get the audience to care about them, then they're never gonna be able to sell themselves as a performer.
And it's good analysing wrestlers, as you said, because they have to get over with the crowd. They have to have certain gimmicks, certain connections. They have to connect in some way. And I know behind the scenes and like stuff like that, Vince McMahon tries to get certain people over, and sometimes you can see the crowd not responding, and then when they do respond, you can see why, how they did that, and everything like that. So that's a good point.
And you tend to find that a lot of the time, the people that do get over in wrestling are the ones that they never planned for. Somebody like Daniel Bryan, they never wanted him to be a big star, but it's the crowd at the end of the day that dictates it, not the
That's hierarchy. A good example. That's a perfect example, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he won the title because of the fans, really. Like
exactly. It was all because the fans rallying behind him. And there's other wrestlers that have been exactly the same. CM Punk springs to mind. There's a lot of them. So
he's loved by fans.
Absolutely. Adored. Sean, it has been a real pleasure having you on the Entertainer Spotlight. Don't forget, guys, you can check out Sean. Just check out Sean Bless. Remember, that's SEAN on YouTube, on Facebook. I am Sean Bless on Instagram. Follow this man. He puts up I'm a magician. I know what good magic is, and this guy's an absolute legend. He performs.
That means a lot coming from you. Thank you. Thank you. It's been lovely speaking to you as well.
Mate, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much for having us. Have been on here. And guys, don't forget, if you're watching this, make sure you follow us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube, because we put videos up every single day. But yeah, we're going to go now. Sean, once again, thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you.
Yeah, follow this man. We'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.